weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be going through the big one, the big issue of the week, Action Comics number 1050. And while DC has been pushing this issue as the biggest thing since, say, the Justice League died or Superman revealed his identity, I went into it wanting two things. I wanted to get a good idea of what Superman books would be like as we enter the new dawn of DC, and I wanted to be pumped up about them. Now, did I get either of those? Well, let's jump into the big 1050 and find out. But before we do that, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, enable the notifications, and let me know in the comments below what you thought of this big Action Comics number 1050. We'll start things off with the credits. This was written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, Tom Taylor, and Joshua Williamson, with art by Mike Perkins, Clayton Henry, and Nick Dragotta. And I'll start this by saying that this issue was a bit disjointed. The art styles changed drastically, and while Nick Dragotta's art fits kind of, Mike Perkins and Clayton Henry's did not fare so well. Henry kind of draws a very thin Superman that I just don't like, and Perkins' dark, gritty style worked great on things like Swamp Thing, but not so much here. Plus, going from one to the other was a bit jarring. And it's not just the art, though. The story felt more like an outline or bullet points than a flowing narrative, and that's because I think that's what it is. This issue is a cleanup issue. It's here to tie up some loose ends and correct some errors before we dive into the new Dawn of DC era. That's not necessarily a bad thing, though, especially when you correct one of Bendis' biggest mistakes. Yes, Superman and John get their secret identity back. And while Bendis promised about 1,000 great stories from that identity reveal, it was obvious he wasn't going to be writing them, and neither was anyone else. I'm pretty sure that 99% of Superman fans are glad that this is fixed, even if the method seems lifted from a recent Daredevil story over at Marvel, and even stuff like, say, Spider-Man back in the day. You see, Lex Luthor uses an amplified Manchester Black to send a wave around the world to wipe everyone's minds of the identity reveal, with an added feature. If someone does find out Superman's secret, they will die. There are a couple added bits of small print to all of this as well. The heroes all had a mind block from Martian Manhunter, so they still know, and everyone in the Kent Farm bubble, they weren't affected either. This allows Jay Nakamura and the Kents to still know the truth, as well as all the superheroes in the world. I mentioned this was pretty much what happened in Daredevil recently, but that didn't stop Lex from taking a jab at Marvel by telling Superman he at least let his marriage with Lois remain. Also, fans of, say, the Grayson book that was done by Tim Seeley and Tom King might end up recognizing this kind of happened at the end of that using the Somnus satellite. So there's nothing about this that feels fresh or new, but it's still good that it happened. And why did Lex do all this? Well, he kind of was mad and jealous. Mad that Clark didn't reveal the truth to him while they were both growing up in Smallville, and jealous that he chose to tell the whole world instead of just him. Now, of course, Superman, he's pretty pissed off about all this and does fight Lex. He fights Lex, who is wearing one of the worst-looking power suits ever. Right before getting in this Buzz Lightyear reject suit, he even shows Superman his other new Super Lex suit that looks awful as well. Lex obviously has money. He's one of the smartest guys in the DCU. He just doesn't have a really good fashion sense. Now, this fight does reveal some big things, and it does reveal something that could cause problems down the line. It seems that Warworld and the possible exposure to the Genesis fragment has powered up Superman to an extreme level. So the hero most people think was already overpowered is now overpowered. And I'll wait to see how this is handled, but I am already worried about that. By the end of all this, Lex is in a Supermax prison for killing Manchester Black. I know this is Lex and all, but I bet there's some people who probably think they should have thrown a parade for him for doing that. So what else do we get in this big, giant issue? Well, we find out that someone seems to be killing multiversal Superman, and Val-Zod needs John Kent to help figure that out. And Metallo has a new body with his old grudge against Superman. And all in all, this felt like a Zero issue. It even felt like something that would be a free comic book day issue to set up the Superman family of books coming out, soon in the dawn of DC. Besides the identity reveal, there was nothing really here that won't be recapped in the first couple pages of Superman Action Comics or the John Kent miniseries. So I can't say this is essential reading, though I think that if you are planning on reading those 3 books, you might want to check this out. So, did I get a good idea of what the Superman family of books would be like? Not really. There is not much at all here, especially for the Action and John Kent stories. Most of the issue was concerned with getting back the secret identity, with not much page space left afterward. And now the other one, am I pumped for the books? Well, I'm still looking forward to them enough, but this issue didn't increase or decrease that at all. My pumped up level is still the same as when I went into this when I came out. With all that, though, I still enjoyed a bunch of things in this issue. I did enjoy some of the dialogue between Lex and Superman. I did enjoy some of the bits and pieces there. There's some humor in Mike Perkins' art as well. When you end up at the beginning, when Lex is actually getting back the secret identity, he makes Lex look a bit like Brian Michael Bendis. So it's almost like Brian Michael Bendis was giving us back that after he took it away before. I got a chuckle out of that. But I just wish that this could have felt like something bigger and better and not just an issue that was doing some spring cleaning to tie up loose ends. I wanted this to be something that you would dig out of your long box down the line. I don't think that's this sort of issue. Now, because of all that, I am giving it a 6.9 out of 10.
69, dudes!
And I'd like to hear what everybody thought of it themselves. But thanks for listening. Please, like I said, subscribe to the channel, hit the like, enable the notifications, and then tell me what you think about the whole Action Comics number 1050 in the comments below. And I will talk to you all later.
You are all weirdos!
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.